It depends on how you look at it, because obviously the more people that are here, the more equipment that's out, and the more data you get back. So that's why I only take 10 to 12 people out at a time.
It takes the, kind of affects the experience.
The energy.
Right.
Oh, okay.
But, so first thing we're going to be using, thermal imaging camera. Should be able to see me in there.
Yep.
So this is a FLIR thermal imaging, so I'm not sure how familiar you are with the term FLIR, but they are kind of like the lead innovator in thermal technology. So this is not a phone app you guys can go home and download. It's an actual camera a fireman would use to throw on his phone to go help people. So that's kind of how this works. Okay. So you should be able to see me in there, red, orange, and yellow guy. Yep. Normally with my bridal parties, I'll joke that I'm the hottest thing inside the frame. So yes, you can get a chuckle out of that. He's like, damn it, this guy's weird. But anyway, so what are we looking for in here? What do you think?
Heat.
Not heat. GOSAR.
Energy?
Cold.
Old?
Cold.
Cold. Oh.
So yeah, you would normally look for this.
I guess I'm looking for the bright spots. I'm looking for the red, yellow. That's what I'm looking for.
Blue and black. Blue and black are going to be our cold areas.
Right, because the heat's by his throat.
Right. Because I've been talking. So obviously it's going to heat up the more I talk. So that's kind of how that works. My beard should be colder than my skin because it's obviously my skin is hotter than that.
So we want to look at the blue and black.
Right.
Oh, okay.
So with the blue and black, we're always going to have blue and black because there's going to be glass in windows and windshields and that kind of thing as we kind of roll around the city. I'm looking for them to either take shape or to start moving on their own. So when I say take shape, I want a head, shoulders, moving arms and legs. That's what we've caught with this camera in the past. Hopefully we'll capture it again one day. So with this camera, is it an every night occurrence where I capture something? Not necessarily. Go ahead.
So how do you pick that out? If we're just staring out here, like we're staring at an alley, and I assume it's all no lights, whatever. It's all black.
Okay.
How would we pick out a figure if it's black? There's no energy.
So if it's more than likely going to be in the blue range.
Very unlikely, I guess, because there's no light, whatever. But how would we pick out in an alley? There's no one. How would we pick out a figure?
They will walk and move like humans do.
Okay.
Huh.
Yes, that's what we've caught with this in the past.
Okay.
So. And she's like, oh, shit, what did we sign up for? So I also have this set up with a blue dot. The blue dot is there. It's bouncing around the frame. So it should be showing you the coldest spot in the frame at that moment. I'm looking for 15-plus degree temperature drops. Tonight is an ambient of, I think I wrote down 56 or 57 degrees. So that means I'm going to be looking for 42 degrees and colder out of that blue dot. In the event that we don't have that full blue or black apparition walking towards us in a dark alley, I want to see if we can actually at least get a screenshot of something manifesting, and we just missed it because Joe over here moved the camera too quick and we couldn't watch it fully manifest. So we've caught those in the past before too. Some of them go all the way between 40 to 50 degrees below what the ambient temperature is.
Okay.
I also have a center crosshairs on there, so if you want to measure something directly, you can do that. So it'll stay put and stay stationary, like stapled in the middle of the screen, but the blue dot will move around, and it will be in your video when you get it back. So if I do find a blue dot that gives me 15 plus degrees or more, or below the ambient temperature, I'll give you the screenshot and the marker so you can go see it for yourself. So again, I'm pretty thorough with giving you guys the screenshots back. So love this guy. However, I get about, we'll just say 4 to 6 solid pieces that I'll put my stamp of approval that it's paranormal a year out of this. Keep in mind of how many tours I do every night, or every week. So kind of keep that in mind. So about 4 to 6 solid pieces where I'm like, oh shit, that's good stuff.
Yeah.
Other pieces.
Will you yell that out if you see it? And you're like,
Well, you're going to get it in your report because he's going to be the one using it.
Okay.
So trust me, if you have screenshots, it's a good thing.
Okay.
Everybody handles this right-handed and kind of see what you're hearing and kind of take things from there. And then if we get any readings while we're here,
Cosmetics.
I'll explain what they are and why I'm actually excited about them.
Do you mind me just throwing stuff out?
Because I might have to write it all down.
Okay.
5.8.
Sounds really hard to beat.
She's gonna beat it. Realize it. You should go higher than that. 7.7. Thank you. 20.5.
What does that mean?
Okay. I guess it's time to do this. Right? So the whole point of this is that if there's spikes in here that shouldn't be here, we're in a place where there's no electricity. Electrical poles around us are not going to give off that high EMF from this distance. This thing is going to measure your TV between 40 to 60 milligauss. Your microwave about 150 to 170. The average for this location is between 18 to 22. That's half the amount of what your TV puts out in a space with no electricity. The highest I've ever seen this guy go in my 14 years of doing this has been here, 214 milligauss. We left. I have epilepsy. There's too much electricity in the air for the guy with the neurological disorder.
Oh,
that's why I said this was for safety. It's mainly for me.
Oh, okay. And is that like not near where you are yet?
If I start seeing triple digits like on the regular, I'll probably cut it off.
Move.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and I do escalate it. So right now our highest point has been 20.7. So now I'm not going to write anything down below that. The little
Sweeper.
I do like the lots of spirits when you ask the question like, what is that for, or what does that mean? And it said lots of spirits. So I don't know who else is here.
Okay. Sweeper. 440. Is there a 440 somewhere?
I don't know what that means, but I'm going to write it down for 4 or 40. I don't think it does, but...
And then I heard like a bit of Billie Eilish.
Oh, what did Billy sing?
The Barbie song.
Okay, what was the lyric?
That.
I don't know the song.
It's a song from Barbie. Like.
Yeah, sing it.
Well, I need the lyric and not who sang it, because Eliza doesn't know who sang it. She's going to use the lyric.
Melanie?
That's...
Melanie, bad joke. Gosh, there's so much static.
By the way, Dawn would have had to leave in half an hour ago. See how we barely just got started?
Yeah. Yeah, that wouldn't have been worth it. Then something family.
I heard 9638. Is that
Not
what it is?
9639.
639.
I think that's what I said.
Give you another minute, because nothing's really making sense to me.
Okay.
To be quite honest. I mean, I'm getting some decent readings, but nothing that's out of the norm for me of what I would normally expect out of this location.
Okay.
I usually wait to see what the phrasing is going on. I don't have anything going on with my word list. Your stuff right now is kind of gibberish.
It's like not making, like, you can't make any sense.
Speaking in tongues.
Yeah, it's kind of gibberish. That's okay. We'll go, like, keep listening. We're going to walk to the back. I'll write down whatever you hear from here.
Should I just yell stuff out?
Yeah.
I mean, like you said.
You're going to have friends. Yeah.
After Reds. Okay. Okay, I'll let you know. I heard Billie Eilish again. Does that mean like girl power?
I mean, she did win a Grammy for something, right?
We're going to stop right here. I'm going to give us the answers. So just kind of show you how this all ties together. And then let me show you how this works.
Okay.
So when I have 4 to 5 people with different communication devices, they all get a different set of focus questions, like I told you to focus on her death. Same thing, but somebody else would get what happened to the mansion. Somebody else would get what was your maiden name. You know, those kind of focus questions, so that way they at least have something to work with.
Okay.
They don't know the answers, so I reveal them before we leave the space.
Okay. So you're clearly focusing on this space.
Yeah, we're still here right now. We're gonna be moving on, but for the time being, you don't know what the answers are to the death questions that I gave you. How old she was, what she died from, those kind of things.
Oh.
So before we leave a space, I always reveal the answers, so that way you guys can have the full story and have a little bit. That way you can hear the piece of history that goes
Wait,
on.
how do I?
I got you. Hey.
Okay. Okay.
So
What if I miss something?
it's recording. So that's the size of a normal ghost orb. Just so that large group that just walked by, just so you know.
Yes.
We're-
Okay.
We're allowed to go to 20.
Which the fact that we're like just 2 is amazing.
I'm more expensive than everybody else. I already said that. So that's like a $20 ticket. You guys know what you paid for yours. And
Yeah.
you got me on the cheaper end because it's slow season. Like they go jacked up March 1st. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I normally charge $70.
Nice.
So, and then I was up to 80 at one point. Then I like really slowed down. I was like, I better go down a little bit further. I was trying to get the hecklers out, basically. No offense, Joe, but I was getting a bunch of people like showing up, like singing the Ghostbuster theme all fucking night. And I'm like, yeah, you're an ass. I don't want you in my tour. Kind of mentality.
Okay.
At least he's like focusing, at least paying attention. Like,
Right.
He's having a good time.
Okay.
So,
And you know I'm here for you. You know I believe.
Yeah. I'm not gonna heckle you and disrespect you. I'm like,
I get it all the time. At least I was.
Hey, I was born with the resting bitch face, so like, don't take it personally.
But you know what? You and I have already like we've dished it back and forth.
Yeah.
So like,
Kind of broken
We're
that
good.
ice. Like,
let's just have some fun. You know what I mean? Let's learn some shit. Let me see what else we can capture. And now we have the whole alley to ourselves. Perfect. So welcome to Philadelphia.
Okay, so I'm down. So tell me if you need me to increase my volume.
Fine.
Okay.
Just take a breather.
dial it down. Just
No, I don't want to dial it down. I want the shit.
shut up.
You will.
Shut up and listen, April.
Okay, all right.
What'd you call her?
His coworker.
Is it April?
Yes.
That's my wife's name. That's what just freaked me out for a second.
It's fine.
Wow. Wow.
Sorry.
Close to home.
It's kind of like, hang on. Like, how much did you guys read?
April, fine. No, not fuck April. No, it's fine.
That's funny.
We love April. Go ahead.
Philadelphia Alley. This used to be called Duelers Alley because this is where some of the duels used to occur for the city of Charleston. So I say some of the duels because dueling was illegal. They had to find hiding spots. This just happened to be one of them. This was the space I was going to take out this
With
year.
pistols or
pistols.
swords? Okay.
So I was going to take it out because every ghost tour comes down here. It's kind of a staple. But I get a shit ton of evidence from this guy.
Like, it's too good.
It's kind of, and it's got.
It's cheesy.
It's got the feel like darkness.
It does have the feel.
This is actually one of my favorite places in all of Charleston.
Like, do you feel it, like, in your bones?
like right now, the
I'm
feel.
comfortable, which is a good thing.
Someone want to do like the cheesy Exorcist music right now because of like.
Right. Yeah, but you're going to see why it's the cheesy, campy, location for other ghost tours. Let's get into it.
Okay.
We all tell the same story of the same duel because we can prove that it actually occurred. Here's how it goes down. A doctor moves down here from Rhode Island. His name is Dr. Joseph Brown Ladd. I say it slowly because if the song Brown Eyed Girl shows up while we're here, even when it's on mute.
You turn it down.
I know, because
Okay.
it's still recording.
Okay.
If it shows up when I'm going through this part of your audio, it is not coincidence. It's part of his name. It shows up all the time. His name is Dr. Joseph Brown Ladd, Brown Eyed Girl. So you're getting my point. Anyway, he moves down here because he's supposed to get married to his fiancée, Amanda, not April. So, I could dish it back to you guys. But anyway, Amanda just inherited a bunch of money from her dead parents. She's an attorney helping her out with this cash flow, and the attorney thinks that Dr. Ladd is just after her money. So the attorney tells Amanda to get rid of the doctor, and he moves down here to Charleston to prove that he's not. On his way into town, the coachman that brought him in set him up to be robbed and killed, like a bad Uber driver, right? So somebody was walking by and seeing what was about to happen. The guy that was walking by, his name was Ralph Isaacs, and I stopped there because Ralph has the same initials as where the doctor came from. Rhode Island, Ralph Isaacs. We were getting the letters RI all the time. I bought a new device specifically for this location. I've had it for about a year, but it gives us letters, just like a Ouija board.
Once again, you said there's no coincidences
Right.
with the RIs.
Oh, I wanted to make sure. I didn't have a verifier, so to speak. So I bought the letter device, and it works off of EMF. And anytime there's a spike in EMF, it gives us the letter wherever the cursor fell on the alphabet. Just like a Ouija board, it moves the planchette around.
Yeah.
So we've had the letters RI show up whenever I brought up Ralph's name about half a dozen times in the past year. So again, now I have my verification that it's relevant to Ralph, not Rhode Island. Anyway, back to Ralph. He tells the doctor, dude, I know this guy, the coachman. He's going to try to kill you. Come with me. We're going to go to my friends at 59 Church Street. You can rent a room there. You'll be safe and good to go. Doc took him up on the offer, and the two gents became friends. Now, the longer the doc stays here, the more money he's making. He's proving his point. He's not after Amanda's money. He's going to make his own. Starts the medical practice. He's doing pretty well. Amanda gets wind of this, and she's going to be moving down because he's proving his point. Dr. Ladd became known as the Whistling Doctor. Now, every haunted city you're ever going to visit has a cliched whistling ghost. We all have one, so just kind of keep that in mind. Yes, it's a thing.
Okay.
It's just it's like the lady in the white dress kind of mentality, because there's always a lady in a white dress kind of story. So every ghost tour will tell you to listen for the whistles. We're going to talk about those in just a minute. Back to Ralph and Dr. Ladd. They go see plays together, but they can't sit next to each other because the doctor makes more money. That's the hierarchy of Charleston. He gets better seats. So, on the way home from seeing Richard III from Shakespeare, they're arguing over the new actress that was here. Dr. Ladd thought she was great, and Ralph didn't. Ralph then starts insulting the doctor's fiancée, Amanda, back home in Rhode Island, and it got really ugly. They went their separate ways. Now, I told you Ralph has friends around town. He went to the newspaper and placed an ad telling the whole city of Charleston what he thinks of the doctor. Kind of a, you're a disgrace to society kind of bullshit, right? Doc saw the ad, rebutted with, let's go to Dueler's Alley. We're going to settle this shit, and somebody's going to die. So they came down, they took their 10 paces away from each other, they turned, the doctor pointed his gun in the air and shot. He did not want to kill his friend. He just wanted to have the courage to show up to the fight, which is often what happens at a duel. But Ralph had his one bullet from his flintlock, and he put it in the kneecap on the doctor. Doc didn't die, but his friends picked him up, took him home to 59 Church Street, and he died 10 days later after refusing medical treatment. Two things. It's November 2nd of 1786. Two things. Gunshot wounds are a lot different in 1786 than they are now. Secondly, he's a doctor. He probably just thought he had lead poisoning and tried to bleed it out himself, but obviously he failed. So, back to the whistles down in the alley. Every ghost tour tells you it's always this quiet down here, which they're right. So even on a busy Saturday afternoon, this is what it sounds like. Nice and quiet.
Totally quiet.
Yeah, kind of creepy, right? They say, listen for the whistles. Luckily for us, we have a video camera recording audio plus my voice recorder. In the event we're going to capture a whistle, more than likely it's going to show up on one of those two locations. Secondly, spirit boxes. I can't tell you how many times that the whistling part of a song comes on, and then the word doctor from a commercial immediately after. Literally dozens of times to the point where I can't even count them anymore. Happens all the time. It's just him letting us know that he's here. There's other clues that I gave you that will show up in spirit box work. The number 59, because that's his address. His birthday shows up all the time. I didn't tell you what that was. The name Amanda. There's other clues about Dr. Ladd that if they show up, I'll let you know if it's relevant or not. So that's kind of how this works. I'm withholding information on purpose.
Okay.
If you're going to try this on your own and actually walk all the way through the alley, I can't take you all the way through because I've actually been kicked out of here. We're going to get to that in just a minute because that's the fun part. Yeah. Keep in mind, if you use your voice recorders and listen to them later to see if you get anything, just remember every local knows the damn story. So anybody walking up and down Cumberland or Queen Street throws a whistle down the alley. We all do it. So it's just kind of, especially since I got thrown out of here. Oh yeah, I always throw a whistle down here. Anytime I pass by, day or night. So it's just kind of something I do. Here's how I got booted out of here. This is the fun part. The way we came in wasn't always open like that. There was a wall halfway between us and Cumberland Street. The reason why is because this used to be called Cow Alley. This is where they kept the livestock for the city of Charleston. So it was blocked off. So that means that the bricks on the other side of the alley are older than the ones we're standing on. So those bricks are sun-dried bricks from slave children. I used to take my groups all the way through here when I first started doing tours and really didn't know any better. I used to take them down there for a history lesson, nothing paranormal about it, because I treat the brick that's down there that has a handprint from a slave child in it, just like I do a grave, right? Wow. That kid's not there. That's the last place you're going to find him.
Right.
November 26th, 2020. My entire group of 10 is huddled around that brick, waiting for something to happen with all the gear that I handed out. I'm trying to kick them along because I know nothing's going to happen, and secondly, it's outside the dining room window of the beautiful mansion at the end of the alley. I'm trying to be respectful, and lo and behold, I wasn't supposed to be there. I didn't realize I was out of bounds for tours. The owner of that mansion came out screaming. My daughter, who was probably 12, 13 at the time, thought it was absolutely hysterical, and because her dad's getting yelled at. So we moved on, and the next day was Thanksgiving. You know, I worked for Walmart for X amount of years. You know I'm not going to work on Thanksgiving ever again because people fight over towels and you all scarred me for life. So the next day was the 28th. I called my partner that brought me into tourism, and I told him what happened, and he laughed at me just like my daughter did. And he said, dude, you're only allowed to go down about halfway. So you're going to have to reroute your group tonight because I'm sold out again. It's Black Friday.
Per the city, or?
Yeah, we actually have guidelines of where we're allowed to be this time of night.
Okay.
Yeah, it's very restrictive. So it's a matter of me trying to find the haunted spots within the allotted space. So the Pinckney Mansion site, nobody's going there because there's nothing there to see. So Pinckney Mansion is drawing me back every year for me to just keep it in there. It is so active on a regular basis. But anyway, back to here.
And we weren't there yet.
Oh wait, that was the first place we were at.
Oh, that was the Big John's? That was a lot.
That was
yes. Sorry.
So basically what I told my team that night for Black Friday was, I don't believe in the next story. I've never had anything happen over there, and I'm a vampire guy, not a pirate person. Before we left, somebody with a spirit box heard the name Anne. I didn't tell them which pirate we were going to be. So, Joe, is this what you guys thought you signed up for, by the way?
You know, I wasn't exactly sure what we signed up for, so...
That's fair. I hear that a lot.
Just kind of going along for the ride.
You guys can have a seat if you want. It's actually pretty clean here.
Said I wasn't sure what I signed up for.
I asked if this is what you guys thought you signed up for.
We didn't know.
Alright, so did you guys notice the big giant crosses on the building?
I did not.
I saw that.
Okay, so those are not crosses on the building. If you want to get out of this mud pile. Those are earthquake bolts. So,
Oh, we learned about those a little bit.
Oh yeah, I did see that. Yep.
so earthquake bolts, as you should already know, they're turnbuckles. So if we have another earthquake, you can tighten it up, and it's supposed to stop the building from getting
They
any
just
further
would stop.
Yep.
getting any further damage.
Yep.
The reason I bring these up is, well, by the way, earthquake bolts don't actually work. I don't know if anybody told you that. That is not
Wait, say that again?
They don't work.
They don't work.
Oh.
Californians actually laugh their asses off at me whenever I bring these up.
Huh.
But anyway, the reason I bring these ones up specifically is because it's the first set that Charleston ever put in. Simply because this is the oldest government building in South Carolina. That's part of the reason why we're here. So this building was being constructed at the same time that Anne Bonny was coming here to start her new life. So this is what I call a familiar. This is something she would recognize. So the example I normally give is on the TV shows, they use a new device. It's called a Boo Buddy. It's basically a teddy bear with an EMF meter built into it that lights up. So if a child goes near it, it actually lights up and says, hey, that tickles. Like, it's supposed to attract the child ghost because it would recognize it as a toy. Same concept with the building. That's why it's a 50-50 roll of the dice if she'll actually be here or not, because there's a handful of buildings in the same time era, but not many. So kind of keep that in mind. The building took 10 years to build. Does that sound like our government? Small building, 10 years?
Yeah.
Yeah, sounds about right. So our history begins right in the middle of the building's construction. Try to follow me on this one. There are a few twists.
Radio something.
So 1708 is where it begins. A young lady moves here from Ireland. Her name is Anne Cormac. She comes here with her father and his mistress. It's funny that you said the word mistress earlier. So somebody's whistling. They're about to go by Bowling Alley. But anyway, so the mistress is Anne's mother. Are you with me so far?
Say again?
The mistress is Anne's mother.
Anne's coming here from Ireland with her father and his mistress, and the mistress is Anne's mother.
Oh.
The three of them are running away from her father's angry wife.
Oh.
Get the point?
Yep.
How pissed was the wife that she kicked them out of the country?
Okay.
Got it now?
Okay.
That's why I slowed down on that part. It can be very confusing. So anyway, they land in Georgetown. That's between us and Myrtle Beach. Dad bought a plantation up there, and Mom died pretty quickly. That's the mistress. That means Dad is now sending young Anne down here to Charlestown to sell things from the plantation to help keep things afloat. So, hence the familiar building. Anne, back home in Ireland, though, was a badass even when she was a little girl. They say when she was only 7 or 8 years old, 7, 8, maybe 9, depending on the pirate lore that you're reading, they say she killed a servant with a knife to the belly. So, yeah, hardcore chick. That's why I bring this up. I want you to... Yeah, badass.
Brilliant.
Is that what you heard? Brilliant? That's funny. Because that would probably be a term the Irish would use. So fast forward to the building. It's done in 13, but by 1715, pirates are starting to come through Charlestown. Anne is stoked. The reason why, she's going to fall in love with one of these guys so she can earn her freedom, just like a man. So it's a man's world at this point. By the way, my bag's over here, which means you guys are going to have a recorded story. So the first guy she falls in love with is James Bonny. So I know you heard the name James earlier, but that's a little too far away for me to be able to capture it here.
Okay.
But anyway, James Bonny, you can already, and I said first, by the way, there's a lot of these fellas. We're going to talk about all of them. Dad didn't approve of James, so let's just kind of do one
Count.
Oh, you said 6 too, didn't you?
Is that what I said?
You said 6 earlier. Is it feeling warmer? Because this says it's almost 62 degrees out here.
It does feel...
What's funny is I usually, out of habit, always give the spirit boxes to the female of the group because they're normally the chatty Cathys, but it's usually the males that do better with it.
Huh.
It's funny. That's how that goes. Right? And if you're here, we're only going to give you a few minutes. I'm going to do a quick lap to see what I can get out of it. Oh, look at that.
What does that mean?
That's the year for trial. 1720.
I have gotten a little Rihanna along the way.
That camera in this location, I want to say my second year of giving these tours, used to give static, like an old tube TV, and then whoever was being filmed, their device would stop working. It happened 3 or 4 times a year. Hasn't happened since, but I always tell my folks to kind of look out.
4 chip? What's 4 chip?
How's Chip? I don't know who Chip is.
I heard 49ers. That clearly is for this weekend.
I'm going to throw that one away. Just like the word, I don't take the word Charleston, and I don't take anything in the current year. So,
49ers is definitely current year. Okay.
well, I meant if somebody said, buy a 2024 Chevy today, like I'm not going to write down 2024. It's too easy.
Okay.
Makes sense? Let's see.
It's like so all over the place.
Yeah. Is it different than it was anywhere else? Some people say that like the frequency changes over here, and they start hearing like Jamaican music. Get that
Okay,
here all
I've
the
not
time.
heard that.
That's interesting.
And it's usually before they know like where we are and what we're doing.
Father's old.
Go in the car.
Okay, don't judge. I smelled the same smell, like starting from our tour. Is that weird?
What's the smell?
It's a little spicy.
I've been hitting my big pomegranate. It's probably the
Oh, maybe it's that.
It's pomegranate.
I get. I didn't see you do that. That's it. That's it. Okay. I'm like, why have I been smelling that smell?
I actually have the word sand.
Mm-hmm.
The word what?
Sand. See the red shingles on the powder magazine? There's sand underneath those shingles because it held gunpowder. So if it blows up, the sand was supposed to go up in the air and fall to put out the fire of the gunpowder. The sand is still there from the early 1700s. This is not the first time we've seen or heard this word here before.
Oh. That's interesting.
And that's a museum now. Like, to get out of our heat or cold, I usually tell people, go spend the $5 on the ticket. And like, it's a great history lesson.
Okay.
But they will tell you about the sand in there, and the walls are 3 foot thick.
Massive.
They're massive. They're pretty damn thick. So if it gets hit, and the reason why it's here is because it's inside. Did they tell you guys about the original Charlestown Wall? When you guys went there?
We did hear, or I read somewhere that there was a wall.
So this was a walled city, and the wall was literally where Cumberland Street is now. Where we would be staring at it. This is the furthermost corner of where they could have put the gunpowder to stay away from ships coming into attack. So it was in the furthest part of the wall. So it was on the, most northern bastion. Basically.
Okay.
So that way it couldn't be attacked. Not to mention it's 3 blocks away from the water. Cannons are going to have a hard time coming out this far.
Okay.
But yeah, the word sand is good. That's me excited, by the way.
Okay.
So the fact that we had 20 and sand, I'm good with that.
But that's on your. So nothing. Have you seen? Has Joe gotten anything?
Unless he's told me about it.
Nope.
I'm not
Temptation.
watching. Yeah, big.
Okay. Hookers? No, I'm just kidding. That was me. That was me.
Hookers.
What's your story?
Temptation, yes. Hookers was me.
Good thing my wife doesn't listen to my audio from these stories.
She's like, what the fuck are you doing?
She's been out on these tours with me like quite a few times.
Has she? Fine.
Well, she's actually, her first set of degrees were in graphic design and photography, so she does all my book covers. She designed my logo for this. Like, she's behind the scenes if I need
Nice.
something.
Nice.
Unfortunately, she's so focused on her, vet work, because that's what she's in school for. that
I love it. I love it though.
I
That's
haven't been
good.
able, like, I gotta do everything on my own. So it's kind of a, just send me the files and I will create it. So
Okay.
I don't have
I just
anything
heard
else.
dream.
Joe, do you have anything going on with that kid? Nothing at all?
Not that I'm seeing.
Nothing abnormal that you would know?
Not that I would pick out.
Alright, then I don't see anything else besides the word sand. Wet.
No. No Stevie Wonder. I'm just kidding. I'm not getting that. So what is it about the parking lots?
We're just close to it, and you have to imagine if I have 12 people, I need for them to be able to spread out a little bit, so that way you guys aren't influencing each other. So
Okay.
I've actually, when I started doing this, people would get really weirded out that I was bringing them to parking lot spaces. And I'm like, we're just in proximity. Like, that's the whole point. I can't
Okay.
take you inside these spaces. So
Okay.
let's head over to the wall and give us the answers and explain it last time. Marine is a little vague.
42, Marine.
Joe, I'll take your camera because this was the last stop for this.
Okay.
Because
Is
you're going to
it?
be doing something new at the next stop.
Okay, tell me.